Happy Halloween, YouTube land, and Falagar back here again on the Horror Globe to review the third film out of this Hillbillies and Hatchet set. It is September. Hold on, I'm losing track of time for some reason. Well, you know the date, but it's September 24th, 2014. The time is 3:14 a.m. So I just got done watching. In a minute. What the hell was it called? Oh, here it is. Backwoods Bloodbath, Curse of the Black Hodag. Okay, so that's what I got done watching. Okay, and let me just go ahead and read the back. Oh, jeez, it's getting late, so my eyes are, man. Bonding over the death of a classmate, a group of college kids head out to the woods for a weekend away. But what starts out as a booze binge turns into a bloodbath. Okay, this is not all that long, 89 minutes long, in color, not rated. It has adult situations, nudity, profanity, and violence. Now, the nudity is, well, I know one of them is obviously a body double. And then there was a couple where this one girl, yeah, she takes her top off. And, yeah, it's quite nice. So the film opens up with this teenage girl just in her bra and panties, and she's about to go bang this guy in the barn, and then the guy keeps hearing these noises like from up above on the upper part of the barn. And he starts to smell something kind of like a strange smell. So he goes up the steps a little bit and just raises his head, and then the thing gets him, pulls him up, and the girl doesn't see it, and then the girl follows, and it gets her too, but it just gets her like at the head, so you see her just, her body swinging, it's just hanging there, and all this blood comes down and kills her. Then we cut to a group of, these, are they teenagers, I guess? Of a classmate, a group of college, no, they're not, well, they're college kids, so a group of college kids, they're driving to, like what it says here, to drive out to the woods, for a weekend getaway, and they stay at this very shabby type of cabin where the guy is charging them, like really low rent because someone had killed themselves in there, which I think the creature that killed them made it look as if it was like a suicide, but I think because the brains were all over the place, but I think it just it killed them. And the whole thing is, they hear this legend of the Hodag, or what did I just say, Hodag? How was it spelled? Legend of the Hodag, yeah. The Hodag, how they don't know exactly where it came from, probably prehistoric times, and it has evolved as the centuries have gone by. And when it evolves, it kind of evolves to become, to match, the situation and the enemies that it's around. So there's a lot of hunters in the area, so it kind of turned out to be almost like this hunter. It's got these dreads, this almost like a gorilla warthog type face. It carries weapons. It's wearing like a trench, and it just goes around and it hunts other people, and it kills them brutally, and it eats them. Of course, as you expect, the college students drop one by one. But here's the really cool thing about this film. Initially, because I saw, the bad acting, one, I got to get this out of the way. So far, the three films that I've seen, Invisible and Wincroft, and this one included, all the babes in here are absolutely gorgeous. You have to see this. I mean, they're all beautiful, and the women in here are beautiful. So now that that's out of the way, where was I? Oh, yeah. So like the tone of this film is like, it almost has this kind of dark comedy. On one other thing too, you can really tell right off the bat, it's very apparent that this is one of those super low budget independent type films, and the best way I can describe it, it's as if it's like just a group of horror fans who got together and used a high-end video camera, home home video camera and shot this thing. That's the best way I can describe it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those type of films. I do watch those occasionally, and not like a whole, not like a whole, not like a whole lot. This is something that would be right up Mr. Parker's street, and maybe he even did a review of it. If you guys know who he is, he reviews these types of independent type films, and this is like one of them. So I don't go out of my way to watch these type of films, but when I do come across it, I watch it and judge it on whether or not it's good, and I kind of judge it on a slightly different scale. By the way, that's how I'm kind of judging all of these, because I'm expecting all of these 13 films in here to be like slightly cheesy. So I know I gave the last one like a 3, a solid 3. It's more of like a generous to a solid 3. Okay, for being, a lower budget, although it's not nearly, you know what, it's a low budget film, but not an independent film like this one, not like Backwoods, Bloodbath. That one actually had like a budget and it looked like at least it was like a real studio, with high-end cameras and everything, and actually had a film crew. This one, Backwoods, Bloodbath, didn't. Like I said, it looks like someone just, a bunch of kids, just fans of horror film, just used a home camera, a home video, and shot it that way. But there's some kind of, there's like a comedic element to this film that a lot of the times it's I can tell like it's meant to be, they mean it to be funny, and it sincerely is. It truly is funny. And there are moments too where I don't really think they mean it to be funny, but it ends up being funny just because the cheesy lines and the cheesy acting. It's so over the top, so hilarious. Many scenes in this film, and this flick, I should say, and the dialogues, I expected like a laugh track to accompany it. It's that funny to me, at least to me. So just expect it to be ultra cheesy, and it is super violent. All practical effects. The kills were well. Let me see here. Well, they're not that unique, but they are. They can get pretty graphic. I mean, mostly because it's putting its fist right through you or slicing you open. Like one guy gets cut in half, even though it doesn't show him. You get done practically, like I said. You just see his legs, and then the legs just fall. So obviously, you see the blade drop down and it split him in two. And he likes to. This creature likes to eat people, and it's like a cannibal. So you actually see it eating the intestines and stuff like that. Really cool stuff. And like I said, there's a scene where you see the breasts of I think 2 of the women. There's a sex scene with there's a black gentleman in the group who he's having sex, and he's squirting like honey or maple syrup all over the girl's body. Yeah, even though there's no nude scenes, but so you see like a scene like that. The PQAQ is decent enough for being something that looks like it's homemade. It seems like the compression didn't affect that film, as much. Not like the other 2. Maybe it has something to do with it's not that high end anyways, so it doesn't have to really be compressed too much. I don't know. I'm not an expert in all these, but so yeah, it's fun. And my final score for this. This is a tough one to rate, but like I said, on a slightly different scale for being like an independent film, I'm going to have to give it, I'm going to go with a generous 3 stars. Yeah, it was fun, surprisingly. Okay, a generous 3 stars. That's like a different scale than, let me put it to you this way, like the first Ghost Rider with Nick Cage, I'd probably give like 3 stars as well. But you can tell there's the difference in, with Ghost Rider, that's a more bigger production. So I'm giving it a 3 stars, and this one a 3 stars, but Ghost Rider's still, of course, the better film. You get it? Because the scale's different. I hope that makes sense. And I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly. I'm not even sure if you get what I'm talking about, what type of film this is. It's when I say independent, but so yeah. And I do recommend it. I will give it a recommendation, so long as you're into like cheesy fun and independent, ultra low budget, independent type films where the acting is really over the top. It's kind of like, honestly, it's not that much better than like porn acting sometimes, but it's funny. Okay, maybe it is actually kind of better than porn acting, but like in a different way. Okay, and the lines are funny. There's one character, he's more concerned with listening to the game on the radio than his friend in the next room who just got, you know, a sickle right through the chest. Okay, and there's a part where, because the, you know, his team lost, so he goes out there and says, "Oh, so and so is dead." And he goes, "Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that thing's gonna kill you." He goes, "Yeah, well, I have nothing to live for." You know, just the dialogue is so cheesy and so over the top. Real people don't actually say these types of lines. Okay, so there we go. There's my review. 3 stars, you know, a generous 3 stars. I do recommend it so long as you're into super cheese and you know, super cheesy films, and you like cheese with your hot dogs, then you know, pick this up, give it a watch. So far, you know, 2 pretty decent ones off of the set. Already, it's well worth the $5. Okay, so happy Halloween, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and farewell.